Okay, so let's go. Can we talk about the Marjorie Taylor Greene stuff?
We can talk about whatever.
Okay,
Sure. Yeah.
so that was interesting because Marjorie Taylor Greene had made that comment, it's time for a national divorce. But basically she wanted to just like kind of go to like an Articles of Confederation type of style, I guess. Like it would just be states' rights. All the states would do their own thing. We get rid of Department of Education. We would get rid of um, not Homeland Defense, but it would just become like strictly defense. All things that sound good. But then she started to say some kind of wild stuff, in my opinion, where she was like, yeah, maybe the red states, like they would just fire all the LGBT teachers. I'm like, well, that's kind of that's pretty different
Yeah.
because just because that's his lifestyle at home, I mean, yeah, you could put restrictions of like, hey, you can't do X, Y, and Z at school anymore. This is not the way that we're conducting school. But I'm like, doesn't that become like a discrimination? So I guess we don't have discrimination anymore in her society. And then she wanted to say that like people could, it'd be fine if red states were like, hey, you moved here, but as and I don't know if this only applied to like registered Democrats, like moving to a red state, or if it was anyone
Mhm.
moving from a blue state to a red state, but she'd be like, thought it was fine to say like, maybe you wouldn't be able to vote for 5 years. And
Yeah.
that seemed really crazy to me. I was like, that now that becomes like taxation and laws without representation, basically, for 5 years. I guess you have the choice of whether or not you're going to move there, but it still seemed kind of absurd. So I wanted to know because I thought I have so many Republicans on here, so many conservative, followers, people that I am in contact with. Like, so I really thought, I was like, oh goodness, all my Republican friends are going to think that this is a good idea because it favors red states. But I was blown away to realize that no one thought this was a good idea. Not
Yeah.
conservatives, not Democrats, not libertarians. And I was like, okay, like I felt like a renewed um, sense of like pride and I guess like belief in the American people. I was like, okay, no one thinks this is a good idea. Everyone realizes like it's a tool that could be a double-edged sword. Um,
Yeah.
even if they kind of liked the sound of it and that it's unconstitutional. So I want to know, what are your thoughts there? What do you think about Marjorie Taylor Greene being kind of like that going over the line type of messaging? Like, do you think that that's productive, counterproductive? Did she make the Republican Party look good, bad, bring attention? Was it edgy and smart, or was it something that is going to make people back away? Like, what are your thoughts?
Um. So she's like, I don't want to. I don't want to say she's far right because that has like certain connotation with it, but she's like extreme in the Republican Party. Um. I don't think when she goes too far, like some of the things it's like okay, like that kind of maybe makes sense, but then like you just keep going and going until you fall off the cliff and
Yeah.
be more and more radical with what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think that hurts the Republican Party because it just gives what's the word fodder, is that the right term, for like the media,
Yeah.
the liberal media, and everything that is against everything the Republican Party stands for. It gives them material and more material for them to um, convince their own viewers and stuff like that. Like you should never even entertain voting Republican, or voting anything other than for the Democrat Party because I mean, look how crazy she is, and that's how they all are. It's
Yeah.
just like it's free anti-Republican Party media when things like that, whether she says it or anybody says anything really radical
Like, it's too
um,
polarizing.
and extreme. Yeah, it's too polarizing. It's not necessary. Um, I know I guess she's like in a super red district, I think, in Georgia. Um, she probably also says these things because she wants to, be in the news, right, and
Like,
stay relevant.
yeah.
Yeah, clickbait stuff. Um, but no, all in all, I would say it hurts the party because it just gives easy ammunition for Democrats and the liberal media to cast every single Republican in that light.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that. It's almost like doing a disservice to the party.
And
Which
that's why
is
I think
okay.
she gets like scolded basically.
Yeah,
Like what in the world are you doing? You
yeah.
know?